I'd just like to give a bit of a round of applause, but also I'd like to tell you a little story, if I can, just before I hand over to Michael Avery. My mother-in-law passed away a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
And, of course, there's an estate which has to be wrapped up and so on and so forth. There were some complications because she didn't live here and so on and so forth. Lived up north in Zim. And with Capital Legacy, we actually employed them because there was some of the estate was here. And for 2 years, they've been working quite hard at it. Not full 2 years, but there's things that have to happen in the estate, blah, blah, blah. But let me tell you, they are the most professional people that I've ever dealt with. So if you haven't got a will, or if you haven't used their services, I'd suggest you do so, because I have been nothing but really, really impressed with the team. They, give you all the feedback you need. They do all the work. They do everything. They really are good. My little personal endorsement this afternoon, because it was wrapped up sort of like today, Friday today, and I thought it was worth mentioning. They really have been very good. Capital Legacy, a number one provider of wills and estates, so it just makes sense that they also now offer life.
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me right here in Solomon's Temple. My name is Solomon Izangi Shams. I see all of you guys coming in. Yeah. Bruce from Namibia saying, hello, world. These guys must be stopped indeed. Richard from Lusaka, Zambia. Baby Loto, Guten Morgen. Good morning from Germany. Thank you so much from Deutschland. Fanta Sanko Bongani. Brenda, I see you also from Deutschland. And the first one to sign in, Brenda. Sorry, Brenda, yes. Another Brenda Elson, all the way from Jamaica. JM. Good to have you here, my sister, Fifi. Awesome to have you here. Also, my brother. I see you, Daneo. Lovedale. Good, awesome to have you here. Thank you so much, guys, for checking in. Please make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, Solomon's Temple. If you haven't subscribed yet, please encourage others to also subscribe and check out the videos that we have in there. All the videos that we make is entirely for you, so please make sure you do that. So I want to talk about a guy called Passion Java. Now, Passion Java is a United States-based Zimbabwean prophet, and he's married to an Ethiopian woman. Somehow it is with a heavy heart that I actually have to call him a prophet, because for me, he's not really a prophet, but he goes around prophesying, miracle money, doing a whole lot of stuff. He dressed very expensively, and he also showcases different, all these luxury brands, Dolce & Gabbana, Louis Vuitton. He is in the midst of that. He's in the midst of showcasing his cars, sport cars, Porsches, and all that. Right? He's originally from Zimbabwe. From what I hear, he's from a political family. So he's currently connected to the political structures in Zimbabwe. So obviously he's going to be making money, getting deals and all that. But for me, the most sad thing is his theology about so many things, not just about slave queens. Now, he came out and made a video just outside, his car, saying that slave queen is a calling. And I'm going to play you the video now. Though the video is entirely, majority of it is in Shona, which is one of the local languages in Zimbabwe. But I will try to summarize it. And also, if you are Shona speaking, you understand Shona, please summarize it here in the comment section so we can all see. Now, you calling a prophet, has a church in the United States, calling slave queen a calling. Now, when we say slave queens, we mean, you can look at being slave queen from a different perspective. Just somebody dressing nicely, beautifully, sexy way or whatever. I understand that. But we're talking about a slave queen that is out there to dress in a provoking way, to entice men, to sleep with men, to make money, to sleep with married men. They target, married men. They want a sugar daddy. That's what it is. So they can pay their bill. They can rent a house for them, get a car for them. That kind of slave queens. Now he is here making a comment saying that slave queens is a calling because they've saved many marriages. Anyway, let me play you the video. The video is in Shona, but just have a feel of it, even if you don't understand Shona. And I'm going to try to paste some of the, comments from what he said. Listen to it. Watch it.
To be a slave queen. Oto tanga korarama life yekupedza nyota yewamwana wanenge wakaoma.
You can see the kind of cow.
Kamwe so kamwe inini kashamari kamwe inini kamwe inini. Ndakambogati Omari pandakapa mareka chikoro. Baba nakona ma-status baba. Kakupoza katenga maguji katenga machi kunoshandisa about 50,000 US dollars 20,000 nekarwa in one day baba. Ndayarandi ndini ndasomudza munhu ndatange business apa ndikutopedza nguwa musoro memunhu makangonyorwa kukwinura vanhu saka katowana capital yekutonaso boostika as a slave queen. Slave queen i-calling inobva kuna Mwari. I would like to you. It's a calling. Baba bane ziwezi mfundisi zakazoenda so in fact the prophet and restaurant. Sithi shaka slave sikandi raba shata baba mari makanaka. Enziwa zinetika. Netika ndezvokudeso. Bible rinoti ndiMwari vakazviisa muna Samson kuti ade maslave queen. Kuitira kuti azodzikinura vana veIsraeri kubva kumaPhilistines. Ndasika Jesu achitanzi chenjerai imi vari muchechi maslave queen achatanga kupinda denga musati mapinda. Ivhesi yandira nezvayo. You find kuti kuna vanhu vanoshora maslave queen achishora. But it's a calling inotobva kuna Mwari. Inotobva kuna Mwari zvakanakisisa. And ichibva kuna Mwari chibatisisa panhu pakadai swavo. Unoziva kuti kune vamwe maslave queen anotoziva Mwari ari kamafundisi. Anoziva Jesu so akarwa magucha ake anenge avhara rume vanhu aya nemachichichi. Angokuparidzira Jesu so ukatendeuka so unazoti thank you Jesus. Handi kunyebera in life usashore munhu.
Well, there you go. That's prophet. He calls himself prophet. Passion Java. Slave queen is a calling. I know a lot of you guys don't understand showing the language to what he said. But he was basically saying this, right? That being a slave queen is a calling from God. According to controversial Zimbabwean preacher, Passion Java, slave queens are necessary to ensure that some marriages do not collapse. So he's technically saying that slave queen actually is a calling from God unto women to sleep with married men so their marriage wouldn't collapse after 10 years or after 20 years. Can you believe it? You are called to commit fornication. You are called to entice a man to commit adultery, so to save his marriage. I don't understand this. The equation doesn't really add up for me. I don't see the logic. I don't see the wisdom behind this. Save a marriage. When a man cheats, when a man commits adultery, obviously, there's no how. He's actually destroying his marriage, not saving his marriage. Except maybe I don't understand how they understand marriage before God. Because marriage before God is adultery, is not permitted. So how do you now say that some slave queens are called to save marriages? This is what he has to say. So he said on social media, after encouraging adultery in marriage, saying slave queens are necessary to strengthen marriages. So slave queens are necessary to strengthen marriages. He's basically, I think he's talking about himself too. He sleeps around with them, isn't it? Even though he has a beautiful wife, that's not enough. Even though he has a faithful wife, that's not enough. Even though he has a wife who supports him in what he does, that's not enough. Because you see, adultery, you would find any reason to commit adultery. And this is what he has to justify it. He said that while many Christian pastors preach against cheating, Java backed his statement with a few references from the Bible, including King Solomon, who had 700 wives and 300 concubines, as well as Abraham, who had 2 wives. According to Java, this indicates that sex drive differs from man to man. So your level of integrity and commitment in a marriage to be with one woman is based on your sex drive. And if you have a high sex drive and your wife cannot keep with it, it's okay. Slay queens are called by God to help you. I don't know if you see if you're like me, I'm struggling to see the wisdom, the logic behind this. That someone is coming to destroy a marriage, someone who's coming to drag people into sin, is actually a calling to drag a married man into sin. It's a calling to get a married man who is supposed to be used to take care of his family, to spend on you, to buy a house for you, to get a car for you, because you were sleeping with him. It's your calling. So calling to get a man who's supposed to be with his family during the weekend, but he would be with you to take you out and you go to some holiday somewhere. It is a calling. I'm trying to understand the logic and the sense behind this, but I don't see a sense behind it. There's just no common sense. So it's just nonsense. This man is technically telling us the way he lives his life, him and his friends and his cronies. That's the first thing he's telling us. And secondly, he's trying to attract slave queens so they can follow him, so he can continue with his deception and get them to give him $5, $20, $10, $2, $2,000, I mean, for him to pray for them and prophesy. It happens. He knows that slave queens make a lot of money. And to be honest, I don't take Passion Java seriously at all. He's a joke. For me, he's like a comedian, you know. But then we must be careful also, though I don't take him seriously, but some people do take him seriously. And that's why I'm making this video, for those who take him seriously. Slave queens are also seeking for God, but they want God on their own terms. You can talk about God, they can come to your church as long as you don't criticize their sinful life. You don't call out their sinful life. And that's what Passion Java is trying to do here now. Say, no, you can come to my church. You can come, you can connect with me on social media. I'm that pastor, I'm that prophet that can support you. And because they're also seeking for God, just like everybody, because every human is seeking for God. Be careful with such people. They neither know God nor his ways. They neither understand marriages or relationships. Matter of fact, let me break it down for you. Most slave queens, they don't enjoy what they do. If they had an option, they wouldn't be slave queens. There is a pain that pushed them to do that. I mean, they might tell you that they enjoy what they do, or you can see them flaunting the money and dressing, driving good cars. But inside of them, deep inside of them, you don't want to know what they're going through. The pain, the brokenness that led them to go after married men, to sleep with different men, to depend on a married man, and break marriages. That's sad. Very, very sad. Anyway, thank you so much, guys. God bless you. Please make sure you subscribe. Make sure you share the video. I'll see you again later. Shalom.
I'd just like to give a bit of a round of applause, but also I'd like to tell you a little story, if I can, just before I hand over to Michael Avery. My mother-in-law passed away a couple of years ago. Yeah. And, of course, there's an estate which has to be wrapped up and so on and so forth. There were some complications because she didn't live here and so on and so forth. Lived up north in Zim. And with Capital Legacy, we actually employed them because there was some of the estate was here. And for 2 years, they've been working quite hard at it. Not full 2 years, but there's things that have to happen in the estate, blah, blah, blah. But let me tell you, they are the most professional people that I've ever dealt with. So if you haven't got a will, or if you haven't used their services, I'd suggest you do so, because I have been nothing but really, really impressed with the team. They, give you all the feedback you need. They do all the work. They do everything. They really are good. My little personal endorsement this afternoon, because it was wrapped up sort of like today, Friday today, and I thought it was worth mentioning. They really have been very good. Capital Legacy, your #1 provider of wills and estates, so it just makes sense that they also now offer life